Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Also, to find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. Google WW7ATS, and that will take you to our homepage. There you will see a little bit about our club and the frequencies that we transmit on. Also, there's a link for streaming. We stream our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock on YouTube. And so clicking on that link will take you to the streaming. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our voice transmissions during our nets. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make contact on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Already checked in on the net on video link is Ron, KD7QKU, Jessica, KF7UHK, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N7QO, and James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else who would like to check in? IPQ. And I guess that was Bob, K9PQ. We got you checked in. Anybody else? Okay, we'll get the net underway. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, well thank you, Dave. KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU here in Tacoma. It's been pretty smoky today, probably one of the smokier days. It was kind of cool this morning. It was 44 degrees, and the sun came out a little bit in the afternoon, sort of burned through, and then it kind of got covered up again. So I don't know what it was, but anyway, kind of busy in a way. Let's see, we had we got a hold of a big screen TV, a 50-inch TV, and we had it sitting on the floor in a living room in front of the fireplace. And we've been using it on Fire Stick, and it's been working pretty good. So we decided that we would, or I decided that we need something to set it on. So that was my big quest, I guess, Monday or Tuesday. Monday, I guess it was. I went to all the thrift stores and every place looking. I figured there's just going to be lots and lots of these tables out there, you know, that people set their TVs on, because now they all hang them on the wall. I thought they all hang them on the wall, so they're all going to give their little tables or whatever they are to Goodwill. Well, that was wrong. I couldn't find a single one anyplace. So then I came home and looked at Amazon and ended up ordering one from Amazon, and it won't be here till Sunday. So Sunday I'll be putting it together. I needed something that was about 20 inches high, and it has to be more than 40 inches wide, and then 10 inches deep, because that's how the feet on the, you know, the whatever you want to call them, I call them feet on the bottom of the TV set. So anyway, this one was 19 and a half or something high, and it was 47 inches wide, and it, I think it's 13 inches deep or something, so it's going to be just fine. Got a few shells on it, made out of metal, black metal, so I don't know. It'll be okay, I think. And it wasn't too expensive. Well, I'd gone to Fred Meyer's, and I went to a couple other stores, and man, I'm telling you, they didn't have anything, and if they had anything to set it on, you're talking $200 or $300. I didn't want to buy some kind of a cabinet for $200 or $300. So anyway, so that's it. So back to net for now. KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Jessica. KF7UHK.
Everett KF7UHK. Let's see. Our big adventure was putting some track lighting up in our hallway up in our Mount Vernon home, because we have a bunch of pictures that Sylvia has. She goes to art auctions whenever we go traveling on these cruises. She likes to buy expensive artwork and display it on the walls. So we got a second Peter Max. You have to look him up, and a guy named Romeo Brito, and a couple of pictures of someone named Patrick McManus, and so we have 4 of those, Pat McManus, and so we put these track lighting up in this hallway so they can put the pictures on either side of the hallway. It's going to be our Pat McManus hall. It was kind of an adventure, taking out these old fixtures very carefully, because I want to keep them because they're really nice old fixtures, and putting up this track lighting, which makes it so you can light up whatever spot you want to with nice, solid, bright LED lights. And so that's what we did this weekend. It turned out really nice. I think they look really, really nice. And the whole living room is covered with track lighting we put in before, because we had some extra outlets on the ceiling to do that kind of thing. So we have many feet of track lighting and many little spots that you can point wherever you want to. It's pretty neat. I'll have to get a picture of it and show you one of these days. But that's what we've been doing. I'm going to pass it on. It's Jessica KF7UHK.
7UHK, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Got a phone call. I've got to go. K9PQ. I'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you with that. Well, let's go to Kent. Richard, K7ITX, where you can't camp.
Stream on my end says it's working just fine. I got a picture, and so I don't know if James is not able to connect to the switch, to at the repeater site. I know sometimes he has difficulty making that connection. So anyway, thanks for the effort, James. So let's see, what was, great to see you, Jessica. I mean, golly, you had a day off, you had a weekend off, for crying out loud. Whoopee, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, God, that must have felt good after all your hard, all these months and weeks of hard work. Finally. So, okay, so last time I didn't get to see you guys because I was picking up Debbie, the YL, down at Pier 69, just getting back. There we go. All right, well, it looks like I'm in Hawaii tonight. So thanks for the switch. I feel much more comfortable now. Looks like it's running a little slow. As far as the internet goes, but that's okay. So yeah, no, I was picking up Debbie. I just came back from Victoria, trying to figure out a way. Well, little did I know. Stand by. guess not. I guess okay. We're okay now, you guys? I'll figure this out. Let's see here. Remove pin. Let's see go to the gallery mode. Huh. Well, okay, I don't hear any feedback, so, okay, I guess we're okay again, so, alright. On the verge of fighting, well, not on the verge, I was in the middle of baseball traffic. I mean, we're talking about a baseball game that started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and here it is, 8 o'clock at night. There wasn't supposed to be baseball, there wasn't supposed to be a big jam of 60,000, 70,000 people when I was down there. Let me tell you, that was not the plan. But I guess it's not very often that they have baseball games that last 6.5 hours or 18 innings. That was pretty phenomenal. I think maybe the next round or two I'll spill my guts out about Russell Wilson. If anybody remembers that name from Seattle folklore. And let's see, and I got 2 retractions. Yes, just like the newspaper, or the media, I have 2 retractions. Retraction is, well, one time in speaking with James, I mentioned that baseball contracts are guaranteed, and that's why, baseball contracts are so luxurious, and I told him that football contracts are not guaranteed, and so if they get hurt or sick or whatever, so sad, so bad, you don't get your money. Like in baseball, you get it no matter what. Well, my retraction is, except there is an exception, and the exception is Russell Wilson. He got 165 of his $245 million guaranteed. And so, as lousy as he might be playing, guess what? He still gets his money. He gets his money no matter what now. It's guaranteed. Jeez. This might turn out to be, well, I was going to save that for later. But probably the biggest retraction and most important, I swore up and down in one of our nets about 2 or 3 months ago that I saw the King County coroner's car. And James pointed out that it's the medical examiner. And I said, oh, no, it said coroner right on the car. Well, James, I forgot to tell you that about 2 or 3 weeks later, as I thought about that, and I think I might even saw a picture of one of the medical examiner, King County medical examiner's car with the logo, the whole 9 yards on it. I go, that's it, that's what I saw. But it doesn't say coroner. So I don't know. I think maybe I just, you equate in your mind sometimes, medical examiner, coroner, it's just automatically imprinted. And I swore up and down, that's what I saw, and guess what? That's not what I saw. So, anyway, don't let anybody ever tell you that I don't admit to my mistakes. K7ITX.
ITX, let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Jim, thanks for getting the video up. I am without a computer tonight, so no pictures from me. Let's see. My 1.2 gigahertz downlink picture looks kind of like it was the last 2 nets or so. Not as good as usual, but at least it's there anyway. Let's see. Jessica, it looks like there's been some critter looking over your shoulder, maybe licking his chops. I don't know, I'd watch out behind you if I were you. Dick, admitting your mistakes, I don't know. Yeah, my wife admits all of my mistakes for me. What can I say? Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, 18 innings. Holy cow. I have to admit that I watched that 100%, and it was kind of a boring game until close to the end there. Oh well. And Russell Wilson, I saw something on the news. I think it was current. I don't think it was something old. I think he's down for a medical. If I'm not mistaken, they said he was having an MRI for a hamstring. So I don't know if they'll pay him even if he's out on sick, but maybe, who knows. Let's see, reset. Thank you, Mr. Repeater. Oh yeah, Dick, you said you were comfortable now that you were in Hawaii. Yeah, it does indeed look like you're in Hawaii. No smoke in the background there, but I think you might be more comfortable with a Mai Tai in your hand. That's my 2 cents on that. Let's see, Jessica, glad to see you, glad you're not working, much as you might want to be, I don't know, but anyway. Ron, Smokey, cool. Yeah, I too had a little bit of sun this afternoon, but mostly the day was just ridiculously smoky, even the evening here, and it actually seemed to get worse as the day went on. Absolutely no one flying around my place today, so it was definitely a bad day. I wound up running some errands today. I probably should not have done so because it was so smoky outside, but I did that anyway. Kind of needed to do a couple things in anticipation of several consecutive days of wet weather, which are rapidly approaching. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Better get a little ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to James, WU7N.
Okay, well, I'm going to try Echo Link here and see how it's working. Can everyone hear me here on this? It's about a 2 or 3 second delay. See a couple thumbs up. The 1.2 gigahertz picture, I think, is just smoked out. I don't know what kind of attenuation smoke is. That's an interesting wildfire question, since communication is important, but apparently 1.2 gigahertz does not deal well with smoke. Because here in the Sammamish Basin this afternoon when it was still white, which was probably about 5 p.m., it was so thick you couldn't even see down the hill from where I live. It's really, really bad out there. It was bad Monday, and I just had to do something because I had cracked the window open for a moment, made a mistake, and there was a small south wind, and this intense hydrogen sulfide type smell came into my house. I went, oh my goodness, I can't live with that. So I had a couple of air filters that I purchased but didn't think I would really have to use them this season, but I ended up wrapping a plastic bag around them and wrapping a fan around the plastic bag so it would pull air through the filter, and it worked amazingly well. For the tiny amount of airflow you're trying to get through, I put that in my bedroom and let it go for a few hours, and it really made a huge difference. So I guess the air filtration technology has really come a long way. The disadvantage, of course, is I need now to build a bigger, better box to get more surface area with air actually passing through it. Because the fan is about that big around, and it's hardly pulling any air at all, so it's a
a whisper of a little bit of air, but that's amazing what that does. So anyway, that's the smoke report out here. Let's see, a small table. Well, Ron, it's all about time or money, because you can just about find someone to give you furniture now. If you want to hunt around and wait long enough, but if you want it right now, you pony up, and you go to Walmart. Number one choice, Amazon is number two. I'm glad you found what you were looking for. But I think Goodwill, during COVID, they stopped taking furniture. There was so much furniture, and it takes so much space, and it doesn't move fast enough. They just were turning away people with gorgeous furniture, saying, we can give it away somewhere else. Amazing, the times we live in. Track lighting, Jessica, fantastic, you got that in. Why do you save the old fixtures? I have a friend across the street trying to get building stuff right now, and it was a miracle to get his appliances within a few months. His cabinets he ordered to be here in January. So yeah, you might really make a killing on those light fixtures. Let's see, Richard, the record for baseball, do you know it? What's the record number of innings or the record amount of time? I'd be interested to know that. And now you know why eyewitness testimony is so poor, because people fill in the blanks with their brains about what they thought they saw. I was part of some experiments back in the 70s on that. It was just absolutely amazing what you're sure you saw, but you did. So with that, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue on Echo West, I'm going to turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
Thanks for that, James. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. Well, the weather is getting a little chillier in the evenings. I've got 57 degrees outside, and yes, smoke. More smoke than I've seen all year today in Lake City. Really heavy. And let's see, the things I did today was I got rid of the last of the yard waste greenery from the tree branches I chopped down from my fir tree. So that went away today. And then also I got in my car and I got this funny little visual. It was just above my speedometer. It showed a picture of a key and then an FS underneath that with sort of a, you might say, is it full or not full? And so I was thinking, man, that must have to do with my key fob. So I went up to the dealer and they put a new battery in my key fob. When I came back in, that little icon disappeared off of the dash. So anyway, apparently my car has a sensor in it that tells me the battery strength I have in my key fob. So that was kind of interesting. So that was taken care of. And let's see, for Richard, medical examiner, that reminds me of my first job that I had. We drove around in what we call circus wagons with these TV news cars. Had a red light on top, and we had these big fluorescent, reflective Scotch light letters that said KXLY TV. This was in Spokane. I remember driving by this one street, and a little kid must have been about 6 or 7. His brother was there, and he looked over at the car, and he says, "Look at that, KXLY. That spells sheriff," to his little brother. So anyway, I guess it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it has big lettering on the side of a car and a red light on the top, you're a sheriff. So that was kind of interesting. And I heard the words from Jessica, Pat McManus. I don't know if I got that right from her, what she was saying. When I was in college, I had a prof, Pat McManus, and he was the person that convinced me to get a movie camera and get into this business. And he was a journalism teacher in college. So I don't know if it's the Pat McManus that you referred to, but anyway, the name is kind of interesting. So that was about it from Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So I'll take it back up to the top to Ron, KD7QKU.
home. I asked him if he was all right, and if he'd got over COVID. And I could tell he read the message, but he never returned it. So I don't know if he's out of town or home or working or what he's doing. I thought maybe that was him, but it wasn't. So yeah, no, that name Patrick McManus, there was another person who'd taken photographic pictures around here. I can't say their name right now. Sort of similar, and I was wondering if maybe Jessica got it mixed up, because Patrick McManus wrote many, many outdoor, they were funny books, and I have probably every one of them that he wrote, except for maybe one or two. Latest one I haven't checked lately, but I always got a kick out of his stories. They were mostly about when he was a kid and he grew up in Idaho and he was hunting and fishing and stuff, and he and his buddies. So, let's see, it was 52 degrees here. When I looked, Dave, when you said it was, I think, 54 at your house, it was definitely cooling off a little more tonight. Yeah, I always jump to conclusions. I see things and I don't read them or something. I don't know what it is, but Joanna's always pointing out to me that I'm jumping to conclusions. That's not what it said, or that's not what they're doing, or that isn't what it is, or something. Anyway, so I'm always making that mistake. So I set out to do 2 or 3 things this week. I can't remember what they all were now, but one of them was to get a litter for the cat box, and I get that at Walmart. It used to be that they would raise the prices of things, 10 or 15 cents. Well, now they just raise it $1. So since the last time I bought cat litter, it was like $4 and some cents for a bag, and now it's $5 and some cents for the same bag. So it went up $1, probably in the last month. It's kind of disgusting. So we don't use clumping cat litter, but we're thinking about maybe trying it. I don't know. Clumping cat litter seems to be a little more expensive, but maybe if you take the clumps out, my wife points out to me, the rest of the litter is good, and maybe it lasts longer, so I don't know. Our cat drinks a lot, so she goes to the bathroom a lot, and the litter gets quite wet, and we have to change it. We have to change it about once a week, and so it's kind of a problem. She's getting to be expensive between her cat food and her doctor bills, and now the litter went up $1 a bag. She's getting to be quite an expensive cat to maintain. And I was just trying to think of, I accomplished everything I set out to except get a haircut. I kind of wanted Joanne to give me a haircut, but there's still a few days left in the week. I was trying to think of the other 2 or 3 things. I did switch to T-Mobile, and I did get all the TVs working on Fire Stick, and then I have little antennas, so they all get the local stations. And by the way, Dave, I've actually found quite a few things to watch on the local stations. I mean, it's all new TV to me, so it's been kind of interesting. So I don't know if my phone's telling me I have the same message or someone else is sending me another message. But anyway, I got a text message from my son over at the plane in Eastern Washington. They're all loaded up and they're heading to Arizona tomorrow for the winter. They're snowbirds. They have property down there. They go down there for the winter, and he's heading out tomorrow, it sounds like. All right, enough of that. Back to that. And was it really Patrick McManus that you have pictures from, or was it somebody else? Back to that, KD7QKU.
QKU. Thanks for that, Ron. And we'll get an ID in here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Yeah, it's the same name. I looked it up, and there are 2 different Patrick McManuses, and one is an American humorist writer, like say, like Western Washington University or Eastern Washington, somewhere around here is the humorist, and then this guy here that does these is from Michigan, who does these paintings, but same name. I was thinking, man, maybe this guy was the same person, but it's actually a different person. So sadly, sadly, that's the way that goes. Cat litter. I get this clear absorbing crystals. It costs me about $13 or $14 a bag of this stuff, and it lasts me about a week. But it seems to work really well. Like cat poop just sits on top of the litter, and I scoop it out and stick it down go down the toilet, and then when it fills up with urine, then I gotta dump it. It holds it all. But it's expensive, and the cat food's expensive too. I saw some bags of chips at like Fred Mars, and they were expensive. It's like potato chips seem like they've gone up really a lot. But that's okay. My work, which I've been working hard at, this last paycheck, I had 25 hours of overtime. I didn't even know I was getting overtime, but it's because some of these days I'd be working 13 hours and 12-hour days. Today I worked 7. I worked 5 hours, but I got 7 because I was on call, so they paid me for 2 extra hours to be on call. And they called me up and said, "We need you." So I had a 5-hour day plus those 2 bonus hours they give you. Facing your fears. I'm facing my fears tomorrow. I'm driving what's called a 204 route, which is a neighborhood route with lots of turns and in a big bus. And I only did it once when I was training, and so I have not done this with real passengers, and I don't remember the route at all. So I'll be taking my map and my right-left turn list, so I make sure and get to the places where I'm supposed to get tomorrow. So I'm absolutely terrified of that, but I'll make it through. And after you do it 5 or 6 times in a day, probably 8 times tomorrow, I'll have it down like the back of my hand. I'll have dreams about it. And the last thing is, I saw a bumper sticker once: support your medical examiner. Die strangely. This is KM7 UHK.
Okay with that. Bob didn't sign out, but I'll call him up in case he's still with us. K9PQ. No response from Bob, so let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Disappointed Bob had to leave us. So Jessica, I don't know, Jessica, have you seen Bob's actual green screen in operation where he was standing up and, like the weatherman cartoon? Okay, good. So, well, that's what I'm talking about. He needs to be here. We need to be seeing some of his action. I mean, let me tell you, I wanted to see this content because, how else am I going to learn? I got to learn from the professional. So, and K9PQ, I've been, he's been my mentor from, along with Ron since day one. So, geez. So anyway, okay. So back to the smoke. I even saw ash in my smoke today. I don't know if you guys did, but I did. So yeah, no, it's about as bad as well. And then the little arrow warning monitor application on my phone that has all these different choices of healthy, not so healthy, very unhealthy. Well, it wasn't a regular mask on the little cartoon guy. It was a mask with the extra bolts on the side. Today, I've never seen it. I mean, this is the worst I've seen it in quite a while. Nice to get this rain to clean. Now, speaking of the rain, I think it's supposed to show up Friday, so that means I need to get, if I'm going to throw stuff on my roof before it rains, guess what? That happens tomorrow. So, I guess, and I do want to. It's always nice to get that done in one swoop. I use just baking soda. Get baking soda in big giant cartons, and it just keeps the moths from growing on your roof. So I'm a believer in it, because when I didn't use it, I had moths. Now that I've used it once a year, I don't have moths. So there you go. Russell Wilson, I don't know, analysis of his game on Monday night, and some of it where they actually showed, video replays, stop action, stop motion type video replays of it, of a lot of the plays, and he just was missing open receiver. I mean, people that are just wide open, ready to catch the football, or just, like he'd have schemes where 3 or 4 people would be open to throw the ball to in succession. And so if one guy isn't open, then you throw it to the other, and they'd be open and he'd miss all 4. So I don't know what's going on, and maybe he's hurt, but are you really not gonna let him play this Sunday? Okay, and here's the other thing. Russell Wilson really can't play for, let's say, another 4 games because he's hurt. Okay, fine. They've got a backup quarterback, I'm sure. But here's a weird question. What if that backup quarterback, while Russell Wilson is hurt, wins 4 games in a row? Are you going to say, okay, thanks? No, I don't know. Or do you cut Russell Wilson? You can't. You can't cut Russell Wilson. You have to. If you're expecting another team to take Russell Wilson, you would have to pay them. You would have to pay them probably $100 million to take him. It's insane to think of, isn't it? Well, but I love it. K7ITX.
7ITX. Contracts. Let's go to Covington.
W7ATS. Dave, that's Wade checking in if you want to get him.
Well, let's see. Let's go to Wade. WU7. I'm sorry. Let's go. W7ITL, Wade.
W7ITL here. Just take me a second here to get my setup. It's been a while since I checked in. I was out of state for a couple weeks visiting my folks, and then I caught COVID, so just been getting over that. And then work has been pretty crazy the last couple weeks, so super busy lately. So it's nice seeing everybody on the air tonight. So I don't have a lot other than the house is coming along again, so we can talk more about that maybe in the next round. But this is everything I got for this round. W7ITL back to net.
ITL, thanks for that. Now let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Wade, welcome. Good to see you. Sorry about the COVID. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you don't get what they call long COVID. Wishing you a complete recovery from that. Dick, I don't know. I'll bet they could find a few teams that might take Russell for $100 million. I would like to think so anyway. Let's see. Jessica. My goodness, 25 hours of overtime? You're working awfully hard for a retired person. Man, talk about busy. You're talking potato chips? Check out Costco. You could get a monster-sized bag for the price of a normal-sized bag at some of the other stores. It's a pretty good deal. But you have to watch out not to eat them too fast. Let's see. Oh, Dave. Yeah, your sheriff's car. I don't know. I wonder if maybe that fellow was telling his younger brother there that maybe he just wanted him to think that, or maybe they didn't really know. But I have sort of a similar tale. I knew this fellow who, actually it was the mother, who, where I grew up, we used to have these trucks that would come around selling ice cream, and they would play music so that you could tell if they are coming. And she would tell her children, rather than having them think that, oh, ice cream is going to be passing right in front of our house, she would just tell them that is the music truck. And that worked for a number of years. I don't know if they ever held it against Mom, but that's what she did. And she knew how to read, so I don't know. You never know. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
And get another ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Bellevue to James, WU7N.
Yeah, I had to change the 1.2 back to the digital side there. The picture is still very poor tonight. On a scale of 1 to 5, it's a 2 to 3. It keeps coming and going and rolling, and boy, it just doesn't handle the cigarettes well, I guess, our repeater up there. Anyway, Ron, jumping to conclusions is the only way old men get. Get a lot of good exercise. I'll try to point out to you that I would probably be cheaper to have around than your cat if things keep going, and so I was going to put an ad Craigslist volunteering to be a pet. I don't know. It's I was actually reading an article that dogs and cats, a lot of people got them during COVID, and now with inflation, it's really expensive to have a pet, so you really have to think ahead on that. Glad to hear your T-Mobile report. I understand you said you got T-Mobile, and apparently you're making calls. I make calls on all my telecommunications at least once every couple of days to see if it all works. It's amazing how often sometimes it doesn't. You got to reset something or do something. And Jessica, new route. Yes. I hope you don't always do that. That would be like every. But anyway, I guess you'll get it down. And the nice thing about it is it's been the same circle over and over again. You get it down long before the shift is over, right? I would assume so. I'm going to reset here. Also got a white screen at 1.2. Not sure what's going on. Okay, I don't know if that reset or not. Clarification from Richard. You said you use baking soda on your roof? Baking soda? Is that what you said you were using? The echo link is cutting in and out very badly. So I don't know if you can confirm or deny that baking soda is what you're using on your nodding. Okay, so it's baking soda. I've not heard of that one. I might give that a try because I do have a large thing of baking soda around here that's very, very old. I kept it around for sulfuric acid cleanup. Yeah, and so that's what I'm using. Don't forget, this is the season, not only for Costco, small village-sized potato chips, but also the $6 pie that's the size, well, bigger than a home plate. I mean, it's a huge pie for $6. It's so big, I cut it up and freeze it in little slices, and I have pie for 2 weeks. And that's, eating a slice almost every day. I mean, it's just a ginormous pie for $6. I understand they now have robots that make some of these pies. They make so many of them and sell so many in one holiday season. Well, anyway, that's it for me. I see we're about 15 minutes to the top of the hour, and so I'll turn it back to net control. I don't know how much of this you guys are hearing, because I'm just hearing maybe 75% of what you guys are saying on echo. So go ahead and take it away.
WU7N, this is Dave, KD7CYM. Boy, we're talking about chips at Costco. Yes, I will agree. I have gotten some of Costco's own brand of chips, and they were really yummy. Like you say, the problem is with the big bags, you go in and you keep scooping out more and more chips. But I did find on the other side, when I get into the Costco stuff that has the little bags, that I go through about 5 of those little bags in one setting, so go figure. I guess your appetite is all on what you're going to consume. Also, I was up at Costco this last week, and had read some reviews from some products that they had, and one was an Asian salad dressing like they use in the takeout places, and I was looking for that, and they didn't have it. And another thing they had was taco soup, and that got a good rating, and I couldn't find that anywhere in Costco. And then I liked the cosmic apples, and they were out. So anyway, what a bummer, the things I was looking for at Costco. But they do have a lot of other things to keep your cart filled with. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you, Dave. This is KD7QKU again. Well, let's see. Richard, I think I heard Russell had a torn lat. So I'm not sure. I think that's a muscle maybe in your side, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe maybe you heard about it. So maybe that's why he hasn't been quite as good. I did watch, or at least I had the game on that he played the other night, and it was a crummy game for sure. I did drive by your house the other day, Wade, and after I got a message from you, it sounded like you were sick. I did drive by your house, and those guys were putting up aluminum posts that day. It looks like for your stairs, I think, or something. There was one guy on the roof and one guy on the ground. And they had, I think it was an aluminum post around back there. But I haven't been back to see if they got any more done. Maybe we got T-Mobile phones, so now Joanne's phone used to be paired, so she was trying to pair her phone yesterday. It didn't go very well, so maybe one of these days when you're home, Wade, maybe I'll stop by with her phone, and maybe you could help me pair it to the car. I don't know what the problem was, but it didn't seem to do something right. And then I noticed, that the hospital, St. Francis, has been, they had this terrible hack, to their probably ransomware, and they've been off. Their computers been off. I see today that they had, this evening anyway, I see that my chart is back again, and I'm glad it did, because I had an appointment and I wasn't sure. I had changed the appointment, so you can be put on standby, and then if somebody cancels, they'll give you a new appointment. Well, lo and behold, somebody canceled it, and I got a text message or something, and I accepted the new appointment, but then I never got confirmation, and I never got because the computers went down on me. I thought I was going to have to drive over there and ask them when my appointment was, but tonight I saw the appointment, and I'm all good to go on that. Today we got our COVID shot this afternoon. We went down to Martell Drug, and they gave Joanne and myself our shots, so we're all set to go. So I was listening to the people up on Lyman Hill, and Wade made me think of that when he said he had COVID. I don't know if this is Wade's first time with COVID or his second time. But anyway, the people up there on Lyman Hill, this gentleman, he's still working, and I don't know. So I would say they're not retirement age yet. His wife has got COVID, and this is her second time. She had it a year before, and she's sick with it again and tested positive. And so they're trying to separate themselves in the house, and he's wearing a mask, and he's putting food on a TV tray for her, and she's taking it. So I guess, it is still out there, and we still can get it, so I guess we have to be careful. I've been a little lax on wearing my mask, but I guess I gotta make sure and put it on every time and wipe off the grocery carts or something when you hang on to the handle, and then maybe disinfect your hands again. But I know we did that, and surprisingly enough, I don't think we've had a cold now for 2 years either, so it's pretty effective on all that stuff, I think. back to net for now. KD7QKU.
87QKU, my time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And on the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Up here in Everett, where it's 55 degrees. I went to my doctor, which I also use my chart, by the by. But I went to my doctor for my yearly checkup and renew my meds for different things. And I got the latest of COVID variant shots. I got a flu shot. I had a blood draw, so I was like a pincushion on one arm. And I'm just about to get my third and final of the hepatitis B shot, which is what Skagit Valley Transit funds for free. They say if you're going to be handling all these people in wheelchairs, it's a good idea to get Hep B shot. Protect you from other things that might be swirling around. And so I'm about to get that. And that's what I've mostly been driving is people in wheelchairs and walkers and canes and that kind of stuff. I've been doing a lot of paratransit driving, which I find a little more fun because it's kind of random places every day. You get this big long list of places you're going to go pick up someone and drop them somewhere. And sometimes people are feisty, sometimes they're very friendly and funny, as opposed to the big fixed route buses that you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One of them, I think I went back and forth 18 times one day to make that 8-hour day. And then one of the other ones, the longer ones, like out to Concrete, is 4 times and you're done. Four round trips and you're done because it's such a long route. Or I did the Mount Vernon to Everett route, and that's also 4 times you're done because that's an 8-hour day because it's a long trip. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm probably not going to stay after the net here. So, but it sure is good to see all you guys. It's Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Sean, Jessica, though, it's great to see you tonight, and we know you're really busy, and so try to get unbusy if you can whenever possible. And let's see, I was going to comment, and since I have time, I'll say that Debbie has got me and Mika hooked on clumping kitty litter. Yes, it is more expensive. It's not as expensive as what Jessica said. It's probably halfway between what Ron said he was paying and what Jessica said. And for sure it lasts more than a week. Mainly because you don't throw it all out all at once. You just scoop it. I think the recommendation, according to Debbie, is you scoop it in the morning and then at night, or scoop it twice a day. And the cat stays. Well, you don't ever want to make the cat unhappy, or they have been known to leave presents in secret places, and it's usually because you haven't been paying enough attention. I'm kind of a believer in the clumping business because it just seems so, kind of trouble-free. I mean, it's a hassle. You got to scoop it with this, a scooper that's lets everything drain or, everything. I don't know. You wouldn't want to try sifts or whatever, big giant sifting like thing, but it's, usually you can do it in about a minute or less. You do it, and it's like brand new. As soon as you're done, you've scooped it, and you might pour a little bit more of the stuff out of the box to make up for what you stole. But having been through having empty an entire kitty litter box, no thank you. I've done that way too many times. I like the clumping. That's my vote. I vote for clump. K7ITX.
ITX. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
Yeah, there was some stuff going on at work, but yeah, I can't really talk about it, but it looks like, based on the news, everything's getting better, so yeah, that's on that topic. Let's see, the decks come along. They weren't installing aluminum pipes, but they were installing, I think that Dave is probably the concrete pads that they're pouring for the deck. Now they got the back of the house all pretty much done. They're going to finish, I think, that tomorrow and finish the door, and then they'll probably start doing the deck. But yeah, the COVID I got is the first time I've gotten it. I've never gotten it before. It's really weird. Most people say they can't taste. I can taste just fine, but I can't smell anything. It's starting to come back now, though. Hopefully I don't have that permanent issue that people are having where they lose their sense of smell or taste. So I would really like not to lose my sense of smell. It's kind of important. I think it's good to be able to smell things, especially if there's something bad in your house or something. So, and it's getting pretty late here. It's, I think, 2 minutes left for the net, so I'll turn it back to Dave. W7ITL, back to net.
7ITL. Let's move on to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, just curious about all of these cats. I don't know. I had a cat. He was an outdoor cat, and I rototilled a small area in the yard, figuring he could use that for his business. But he instead, I think, preferred to go back in bushes or sometimes our flower beds. But nevertheless, I had that. There were a couple of times when it got super cold outside. I did get some clumping cat litter for him and put him in the garage just to make sure he didn't freeze. But so my cat was basically an outdoor cat. But even indoor cats, they'll go and they'll let you know that they want to go outside. Some of them, I want to go outside now, darn it, let me out. I don't know, maybe just rototill a little area in the backyard, and he might get the idea that he needs to go out there. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, thanks to everyone for participating, and we'll catch you next time. 87ZYM and 7QO.
Thanks for that. And time to terminate the net for the evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, 87ZYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.